If your life right now is looking like it's muddy, if it's looking like you're in the mud and you're not sure as to why it is, I challenge you to look at your values. Values are what shape your world. They're what colors your perception of reality. And if the colors in which you observe life from are complementary, they're the opposite of each other, you holding opposite beliefs, then the shades that you will create are not gonna be as vibrant as you want them to be. So if you see in your life that you're not really satisfied with how things look to you, well then there's a misalignment in your value system. Maybe you're saying, I want to be this way, I want to be an ultra endurance athlete, and then you're coming home at the end of the night and watching TV and eating Chick-fil-A. Listen, not to say that ultra endurance athletes cannot do that, but for the most part, they're training. They're out there every day running. They're going their distance in whatever specific sport that they're doing. They're feeding their body the fuel that's gonna get them the healthiest, the cleanest fuel to be able to perform at the level that they want to. But if I inside of myself, which I have been this person, I do feel this way. I do want to do Ironman triathlons. I've done multiple triathlons, but I have not done an Ironman or a half Ironman. So it's like that confliction, that value saying, I want this, but yet how am I showing up? And when we have conflicting values, it changes our posture because we're not moving towards the direction of the goal that we have. We're moving in the opposite direction, which creates tearing. If we're attached to a specific goal and we're moving away from that goal into another direction, that attachment is still taking energy. If we were able to fully pivot away from that goal and say, not right now, I'm gonna move over here, well then that's fine. You just have to realign your value with that specific thing. But if you're saying, in this season of your life, you're gonna show up, you're gonna be an ultra endurance athlete, and here you are day after day coming home and eating ice cream and Chick-fil-A and watching TV, then your values aren't aligned. And values are represented in how you choose to act. They paint the world of your life. They paint your perception of reality. And if your values were aligned in a way that there are multiple value systems, if you look at the primary color wheel, let's say that that's your value system, like hypothetical, the visual aspect of it, that creates all color and all shades, opposed to just having that conflict, two complementary colors, saying one thing but doing the other. If you really want something, it's important to be honest with yourself about how much you want it. Because if you don't want it and you're saying you do, that is going to create a lot of disruption internally and in your life. So it's important to be real with yourself about what type of life you want to live in. And not everyone wants to be an ultra endurance athlete. Some people look at that and they say, oh my god, that sounds horrible. Most people do. So if you're trying to live your life to align with an ultra endurance athlete because the world told you you should, but you're like, oh my god, I hate that idea, I hate it, then it's like, oh, your value somewhere else, but you put your value there because the world told you you should. Don't do what the world tells you should. Find the alignment within you that shows and paves your specific way. A lot of times, if you're following your way, majority of people will not understand. But that's how you know that you're being created into the new being. And that's the creative process that's changing you to who you are always created to be.